Hey guys, and welcome. Today we're going to take a look at SendMyAd. So I'm going to give you guys a quick demonstration on this. SendMyAd is a cloud-based tool designed to automate your ad reception workflow. So today we're going to look at digital ads. Now, digital ads could be for social media, for email newsletters. It could be, banner ads, leaderboards, and things of that nature. Specifically today, I'm going to look at uploading a social media and a native ad. So an ad that is made up of images or videos, text fields, and links, really. Um, Within that, we're going to look to automate four main points of your workflow: the actual requesting of the materials, the checking of the specifications of the materials that are actually being uploaded. So things like character count, image size, file type, providing a proof to the advertiser of what their ad will look like in its intended medium. And then lastly, the delivery of those assets to you, the advertising agency. So with that, I'm going to start at the beginning of the workflow, which is requesting the materials. So when an insertion is sold, SendMyAd is going to send out a materials request to the appropriate contact within your advertising customer. So they'll receive an email that looks something like this. Now, keep in mind, this is a template that's entirely customizable. So the text that you see, the banner images, things of that nature, even the metadata tags, these are reactive and are pulled directly from the portal. You can choose what information you want to show your advertiser. All of that is customizable. So this can really take on the look and feel that you'd like it to. It can be really graphically oriented, or it can be mostly text like mine is here. But the important thing is that your team doesn't have to initiate this conversation or conduct the follow-up. Because if I receive this first email, and let's say I overlook this or I see it, but I don't really have my materials ready and I don't respond right away, SendMyAd will keep emailing your advertisers, letting them know that their materials are due. And you just define that within the portal to say, I want to email my advertiser every 3 days after their materials are due, or every 5 days, whatever you'd like. They'll keep receiving emails from SendMyAd until the tool recognizes that their materials have been received, they've been approved, and there's really no work to be done now at the advertiser. So in a real working environment, I receive this email. When I click submit my materials, that is going to take me into the design studio. So for this ad, I'm going to use a social media ad as an example. This is going to be both a Facebook and Instagram ad. It's going to bring me into this design studio. Now, keep in mind, this template that you see here that I'm about to fill out, this is also customizable. So I've pulled these specs directly from Meta, from Facebook for this example. But if you're doing, email newsletters or custom applications on the phone or something of that nature, this template can take on the look and feel of anything. It can look exactly like a Gmail inbox. It can look exactly like we have here, a Facebook or a LinkedIn ad or a tweet from the X platform or something of that nature. There are no limitations to what this template can look like. And that's really important because, as I mentioned before, we're also looking to automate the creation of a proof for the advertiser. So as an advertiser, I'll begin building this ad. When I browse for a file, this is just like attaching something to an email. Now, this is where SendMyAd starts to work. So while this is processing, we're making sure that this is the right size, that it's the right file type. If it's a video, we're making sure it's the right length. If it's a GIF, we're making sure that the GIF duration is looping in the time interval that we'd like. All those different specifications we can check for. Now, as this processes, I can begin building the ad from a text perspective. So you can see now here in the preview area, this automatically shows. I can see, okay, here's how the ad is actually going to exist inside of this Facebook ad. I like the way the image is cropped. Now I'm ready to really start adding my copy. I'm just copying and pasting this from a clipboard, but you can see as I begin to add these text fields, this is appearing on the ad. So luxurious, fashionable eyewear, stylish, affordable, ethically sourced. I'm seeing this in real time. So, one of the benefits here, you can see that we're checking for character count and also word count, if applicable. But with this, let's say that, as I begin styling this out, maybe I'm a little wordy and I'll just, copy and paste the same text that I have. Well, you can see this has just turned red and I have a text error and it's telling me that my character count needs to be less than 125. And I've gone over that. As an advertiser, I might say, oh, I wasn't aware of that. I'll go ahead and make this sentence a little bit more concise. As I do that, I'll type more of the example here. Another added benefit, yes, in this example, I'm under 125 characters. So I technically meet Facebook's standards. This will work on their platform. But at 115 characters, the way that I've designed this sentence, I have these two hanging words here. Now, as an advertiser, I may see that and say, oh, I'd really rather that all be on one line. And I can make changes on the fly to the way that I've structured my sentence. And I can get it to a point where I both like the way that it looks and it meets the necessary specifications to be served on a platform like Meta or within an email newsletter. So as opposed to a traditional workflow where you start off, you're emailing the advertiser, you're asking them to submit their materials, you're manually checking to see if they've done so. Then once they do submit those materials, you're manually checking to make sure the character counts are correct, or the image size is correct, or the file is the right type, or you've received enough images. Maybe it's a carousel ad. Maybe you need 3 images and no less. All of those things we can check for. Simultaneously, while we're doing that, you're also providing this proof. So you don't have to check these, ask for revisions, and then pass it on to a graphic designer to create the proof and receive that approval from the advertiser on the way that it looks. That's all happening at one time because it builds itself right here in front of the advertiser. Now, as I continue to build this ad out, I mentioned that we're checking for word count, and that's a good example for something like a call to action. So here I have my call to action. I'll say shop now. That's perfectly fine. If I were to say shop now today, well, I've gone over the word count. We don't care about characters, but it does need to be 2 words. So we're checking for that as well. Then we move on to the actual links. So with this, we can check for link validity. If there's a special character in here that doesn't belong in a URL, or if there's a space or something like that, we'll catch that and it'll immediately flag it. The advertiser can't move forward with the workflow until that's corrected. So even if I missed this box turning red, the error being flagged, if I went down to submit the ad, that same error would pop up and it would prevent me from moving forward. So, we're actively requesting that they fix those problems on the fly to ensure that what you receive is perfect. It's ready to appear in its intended medium. All you have to do is give this your visual approval and it moves forward. So I'll finish building this out. And as an advertiser, I've met all the specification requirements. Everything works. Character counts are good. My image is the right file type. This ad has built itself, so I can see exactly how the text will appear. I can see how this interacts with the image, exactly how it's going to look on Facebook. But what you can also do is provide the advertiser more than one view of this ad. So let's say, you're collecting these materials, but they actually serve for 3 different ad types. In this example, I've got a desktop ad, I've got the Facebook mobile ad, and I have the Instagram ad. And these assets are going to apply to all 3. As an advertiser, I can say, okay, what text fields actually flow from one to the other? So I see my primary text is here on the Instagram ad. It's also here on the mobile ad and the desktop. But maybe I really wanted my headline to be the text that appeared on all 3 of these. And I didn't care so much about the primary text, but I just didn't know how they were defined. Again, it's a live proof. I can make that change on the fly so that as an advertiser, I'm not met with any surprises, once I'm provided that proof. It's happening right in front of me. So keep in mind, again, you can provide several different previews, and this is all templates that you can customize to say these text fields flow over. This is how it's going to appear. So as an advertiser, my work is done. I've built my ad, everything meets spec, and I'll submit it to you, the agency. Once I've done that, I'm good to go. Your team then receives an email notification. When your team receives the email notification, you'll be brought in to your side of the portal where it's awaiting your approval. So I'll submit this as an advertiser. That now triggers the notification to you, the agency, that the ad has been submitted. So with that, let's log in now as an agency, and we'll take a look at what you see. So now I've switched tabs and I'm logged in as an agency, and this is what you see. So really, you're looking at exactly what the advertiser was looking at. You can see the different versions of the ad like we saw before. We can see the individual asset fields that they've included, and we have the live proof of the ad. And we know that all of these fields, these assets, meet specifications because it's already gone through that check. Now, at this stage of the workflow, if you want to provide, consultation services to your advertiser to suggest, a different call to action, or, perhaps different wording that you feel something could be stronger, or you feel, maybe the image doesn't pop enough, and you want to provide those consultative services as you do as a creative agency, you could reject this. When you do, you provide the exact reason of why you're rejecting it. Again, you can provide them advice on things that they might want to change from a design perspective. But what you're not having to do is make sure that these individual assets are meeting spec. It's just doing what you do best: serve as a creative agency for your advertiser, and then of course serving these ads in their intended medium. So really, you have two responsibilities here. Check to make sure that the ad has the right look and feel, you feel it's going to be successful, and then approving the ad, which is going to move into our fourth stage of automation, which is the delivery of these assets. So as an agency, when I approve this, now the delivery queues, it's going to ask me one last time if I'm sure, and this is sent to its final destination. When it reaches its final destination, your team member receives what we call an ad packet. That's going to have the image file or multiple files, or the video file or multiple files. And it's also going to contain a CSV with the individual text fields so that this can be easily recreated in whichever medium it's meant to appear. So if you're serving it through, Google Ad Manager, or it's going on Facebook and Instagram or LinkedIn, all you have to do is open up the ad packet in whichever delivery destination you choose, like a Dropbox or something of that nature, grab those assets and serve them, and your work is done. So that is SendMyAd in a nutshell, you guys. Now, there's a lot of other features we can explore. Again, this is a position to accept, leaderboards and banner ads and things of that nature. You can see here I have my ad library where I can access, past materials and conduct pickup workflows and things of that nature. There's a number of reports and things like that I can do. But for this, our online demo, the core workflow, again, automating the requesting of the materials and the follow-up communication, automating the check of the specifications and the creation of the proof, and then automating the delivery and tracking every approval every step of the way. That's what we're looking to do to dramatically cut down on the time it takes from you selling the ad to receiving the working assets and serving this on behalf of your advertisers. So guys, SendMyAd. Reach out to our team today if you have other questions, if you'd like a deeper dive into a larger demonstration, or if you'd like to see us use some of your actual materials in a demo, we can do that as well. Thank you for your time.